गोपी जना वल्लभ गोपी जना वल्लभ
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय
यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनार्दना यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनार्दना यमुना तीरा
यमुना तेरा
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya.
ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं हरिः ओम्। So I was asked to speak from. Is there a way to lower this? You can lower this completely. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I was asked to speak from the first chapter, 41st sloka, I think. Okay, I think we read yesterday. Yeah, 41 is correct. Okay. We'll read from 42. I don't know if I should read 43 as well. Repeat after me. Chittistu atharvana patni. Chittistu atharvana patni. Lebhe putram dhritabratam. Dadhyancham ashvashirasam. Dadhyancham ashvashirasam. Bhrigor vamsham nibodhame. चित्तिस्त्वथर्वण पत्नी लेभे पुत्रं धृतव्रतं दध्यञ्चम अश्वशिरसम् Bhrugor Vamsham Nibodhame. Chittistu Atharvana Patni Lebhe Putram Dhritabratam Ashwashirasam Dadhyancham Ashwashirasam Bhrugor Vamsham Nibodhame. Chittistu Atharvana Patni Lebhe Putram Dhritabratam Adhyancham Ashwashirasam Bhrugor Vamsham Nibodhame. Chittistu Atharvana Patni Lebhe Putram Dhritabratam Dadhyancham Ashwashirasam Bhrugor Vamsham Nibodhame. Chitti Mataji. Chittistu Atharvana Patni Lebhe Putram Dhritabratam Dadhyancham Ashwashirasam Bhrugor Vamsham Nibodhame. Chitti, tu, also. Atharvanaha, of Atharva. Patni, wife. Lebhe, got. Putram, son. Dhritabratam, completely dedicated to a vow. Dadhyancham, Dadhyancha. Ashwashirasam, Ashwashira. Bhrugoho Vamsham, generations of Bhrigu. Nibodha, try to understand. Me, from me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Chitti, wife of the sage Atharva, gave birth to a son named Ashwashira by accepting a great vow called Dadhyancha. Now you may hear from me about the descendants of the sage Bhrigu. Purport. The wife of Atharva, known as Chitti, is also known as Shanti. She was the 8th daughter of Kardama Muni. Should I read 43rd as well? No. 42 is good. Okay. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayeet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So I was asked to speak on a very difficult verse. So again, to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the personal experience of Shukadeva Goswami. It is the essence of Vedanta Saram, Yattat. And it is the Parama Pramanam for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Pramanya means how do we understand what is reality. So, though there are many Pramanas, Jiva Goswami elaborates in Tattva Sandarbha how Srimad Bhagavatam is the Pramanam. Pramanam means, Prama means intelligence. Whatever is understood is called Prameyam. And through whatever you understand with your Prama, that is called Pramana. Right? So if I understand with my senses, that is Pratyaksha. So that is one way of Pramana, because I'm using my senses are feeding my intelligence. I understand this is a phone, this is a man, this is a woman. And then Anumana is when I don't see exactly things as they are. Right? I make an inference, and everyone can have multiple inferences. That is allowed. And Shabda Pramana is when one cannot understand something what is pratyaksha and from anumana, we cannot decipher. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Atma also can be understood only by Shastra. And so Jiva Goswami mentions in a Sattva Sandarbha, and actually in the commentary to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu actually, that what does faith mean? Faith means actually one's advancement. Relationship with faith means how much faith he has in Shastra. So he has the words of the Shastra. He doesn't think it is an exaggeration. So there is a fifth offense, right? So what is called Arthavada. We say this fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. So the exact Vakyam from the Padma Purana is Arthavadaha. Arthavadaha means simply is glorifying. Right? To say the Mahatmya of something you're glorifying. So one should not think like that. So one must accept the words of Shastra to be exactly true. So this is Shastra Unitva. This is Shastra is one of the Pramana, right? And this is the Parama Pramana. And amongst all the Shastras, for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Srimad Bhagavatam is the Parama Pramanam, through which we understand what is sadhya, what is sadhana. Because this nishtha must be, if this nishtha arises in one's heart, these two things. First of all, the epistemology. Epistemology means how do we understand what is what? How do I understand? Am I using my pratyaksha? Because if you don't understand these basics, then people have a lot of questions later in their Krishna consciousness. That Srimad Bhagavatam says this, but I feel something else. Cosmology problems, like Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was mentioning. Modern cosmology says this. The Bhagavatam says this. How do I understand? Right? And so the conclusions of Anumana and Shabda Pramana will not always match, right? But it is not meant, Shabda Pramana is not meant to contravene Pratyaksha. That is there. One of the Acharyas is making commentary. If Shabda is telling sun is very cold, right? We should not take that meaning because it is contradicting Pratyaksha. Madhvacharya actually is mentioning this, right? Because Shastra will not, Shabda Pramana has got two qualities. One is two qualities. One is that it is pratyaksha atitam. It tells which is beyond pratyaksha. And it does not say which is pratyaksha viruddham. Whatever is against pratyaksha, right? It will not mandate that. Right? So that's there. So anyway, for us, Srimad Bhagavatam is so elevated. What I wanted to say was such an elevated Shastra, which is the personal experience of Shukadeva Goswami, which is the essence of the Shastra. And after reading this, there is nothing else to be known. Such a beautiful Shastra, I'm not completely eligible to speak. But anyway, I'll still speak to purify myself. For the reason I'm not thoroughly honest. I'm not free from all material hankerings. I'm not simple, I'm not straightforward. For the reason I am ineligible to speak. So now coming to this verse, the fourth canto, the beginning starts by mentioning the genealogical dynasty of Swayambhuva Manu, and then it is mentioned. There is a very nice chart I was seeing. That chart very nicely breaks down how the different daughters are coming. Like we see, Swayambhuva Manu comes Akuti, Prasuti, and from Akuti comes Dakshina and Yajna. So that is said. And now we are talking about, different. We started with Atri, right? In this way, we are trying to understand how these different daughters are coming and they are getting married. So we see Prasuti is one daughter of Swayambhuva Manu. She's marrying Daksha Prajapati, and then we see Akuti marrying Ruchi, and similarly we saw in previous canto Devahuti, who's also the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, marrying Kardama Muni. So in this way it is elaborating. So we will see also in the later parts of the fourth canto how same Uttanapada is mentioned, and he goes on to elaborate Uttanapada's dynasty, right? Who is the son of Swayambhuva Manu. And then again at that point of time, Dhruva Maharaj's pastimes come. So it's a very nice entryway to know about different personalities, because everything about every personality is glorious in many ways, and Shukadeva Goswami is, taking the essence of it. So what I wanted to do today was, to be very honest, I do not know the history of Chitti Dadhyancha. So I thought it might be a good idea, because this week was a very auspicious week. There was Rukmini Dwadashi, and there was Madhavendra Puri's appearance day, and there was Narada Muni's appearance day, right? And during Vaishaka Purnima also very auspicious, because during Vaishaka Purnima, everyone was celebrating the death of Hiranyakashipu. All the devatas came and they celebrated. They had symbols and like very nice. They did a huge kirtan, a roaring kirtan, like Hiranyakashipu is dead. So Vaishaka Purnima was also very auspicious. So in this way, so many, and of course we had Narasimha Chaturdashi. So many auspicious days. So I thought, huh? Oh, Radharamanji's appearance day. I forgot. Thank you. Yes, Radharamanji's appearance day. So many auspicious days. So what I wanted to talk was especially Narada Muni's appearance, and how important he's to our Siddhanta. We are coming in his parampara. So we are coming in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya parampara, and Brahma's personally instructed Narada Muni, so we can understand how important he is to us. And again, Narada instructed Prahlad Maharaj. So such a great parampara. So I wanted to talk about a few shlokas about from one of to highlight qualities of Narada Muni and to highlight qualities of Prahlad Maharaj, which is not often very quoted, which is not often discussed when we talk about Prahlad Maharaj, which is not very often discussed when we speak about Narasimhadev's pastime. So maybe I thought it might be a good idea to highlight that and speak elaborately about it. So one of the consistent themes of Narada Muni's instructions, to the, one of the favorite instructions I like is, where he's convincing Hayashirshwas, right, to become brahmacharis. Right? It's very mechanical. He gives very analytical. He gives a beautiful analogy of a big of a big pole that is actually with a lot of spokes that is going from end to end. Very analytical, and Prahlad Maharaj also very analytically speaking. So the common theme is about the illusion of I and mine. The illusion of I and mine. So Prahlad Maharaj makes this point so many times to his classmates, what he learned in the womb, to Hiranyakashipu in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. Again and again, one of the consistent themes of Prahlad Maharaj's prayers also he makes the same point. The illusion of Ahamameti, right? How actually it doesn't exist. Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example. I was hearing Srila Prabhupada yesterday. Prabhupada said, imagine there is fire and someone said, light you take, heat I will take. Right? The light in the fire is yours. Heat in the fire is mine. Right? How will it be? Right? So I have nothing to do with fire. Right? Fire only has light and heat. Similarly, everything is Krishna's potency. I say, this is all my family. This is your family. Right? This is all, my society. This is your society. This is my Guru Maharaj. This is your Guru Maharaj. This is my temple. This is your temple. This is my your Bhakti. In this way, actually, it's easy to laugh at it, but until there is realization of this foolishness, because the living entity doesn't want to be foolish, right? Anything I'm ready to accept myself as, I'm even okay to be a failure, but I don't want to be seen as a fool by someone else. If someone says I'm foolish, I'm very deeply hurt. Is it not? So the living entity doesn't want to be foolish. So when he understands, actually, I'm a fool for actually thinking in terms of I and mine, right? So murkha. So it's and so one way of talking is that I'm a fool, I'm this, I'm that. But if you don't acquire complete knowledge, we can't be convinced about our foolishness, at least talking about myself. So that is why Prahlad Maharaj speaks all this, what he's speaking. So I'll speak about what Prahlad Maharaj learned in the womb, where he talks about this, and then I will, also maybe talk about, if time allows, what Narada Muni mentions. So Prahlad Maharaj was always very sober, always inwardly drawn, and he was constantly thinking, how is everyone in this world passing their life without Krishna consciousness? Nasta Kridanaka Balaha Jadavantan Manastindriya. He always used to be like stunned in ecstasy. Prahlad Maharaj. Jadavantan Manastindriya Krishna Graha Grihitatma Naveta Jagadidrisha. He was as if possessed by Krishna, where he was constantly thinking of Krishna. Kaschid Hasati, Kaschid Nirtyati. Sometimes he used to dance, sometimes Vaikunta Shabala Chintana. And sometimes thinking of Krishna, his heart used to melt. This was the characteristic of Prahlad Maharaj. Now, seeing Prahlad Maharaj, Bhagavatam mentions how people who are very weak in faith, they also get faith in Krishna consciousness. Prahlad Maharaj was so elevated just by having Darshan Pavitra Eitomaragun. So that was Prahlad Maharaj's qualities. And when Prahlad Maharaj is instructing his classmates, he knew the classmates might not be able to understand this direct instruction given by Prahlad Maharaj because they were Asurik. And when someone is Asurik, they might not be immediately eligible to take Tattva instructions directly. Sambandha Tattva Jnana becomes very difficult. So Prahlad Maharaj says very nice thing. I really like this shloka. He's telling, Evam nirjita shadvargaihi kriyate bhakti rishware vasudeve bhagavati. Sorry, not the shloka. Yeah, he's telling, Bhavatam api bhuyan me yadi shraddhatate vachaha vaisharati dihi shraddhada stri balanam cha me yatha. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling, I'm going to tell you something very analytical. Even if you don't understand this, whatever I'm telling, have faith in my instructions. Because by having faith in what I'm saying, you will gradually make progress. Stri balanam chame yatha. Like I also had faith in Narada Muni. Balanam, Stri, all of us chame yatha, like me. Right? Like me, I had faith. Similarly, you simply have faith, even if you don't understand, if you don't understand. So Prahlad Maharaj is making this point. This is what he learned in the womb. He's saying, Janmadhyaha sad ime bhavaha drishta dehasya natmanaha falanam iva vrikshasya kalena ishvara murtina atma nityaha avyayaha shuddhaha ekaha kshetrajna ashrayaha avikriyaha swadrik hetuhu vyapaka asangi anavrtaha. So first of all, Prahlad Maharaj, again, just like Krishna is in the Bhagavad Gita, starting from the basics, Prahlad Maharaj also starts from the basics when he's speaking to the Asura classmates. And in this way, he is breaking Ahamameti. Just by the basics, he's breaking Ahamameti. When Ahamameti is broken, easy to perform bhakti. Right? Easy to perform bhakti. And that is what spiritual master first does. He says, Janmadhyaha shad ime bhavaha. Everything in this material world is undergoing 6 changes. Everything in this world is constantly changing. My voice is changing. When I sang Mangalarati, my voice was very hoarse. Now my voice is different. Now again, my voice in the night will be different. And my speech is different right now. My mindset is different right now. My legs are different right now. I know I am in the temple. I need to act in a certain way. That is my mindset. Again, when I go to my sleep, I will act in a different way. When I'm with my children, I act in a different way. Right? So this is constantly changing. This is what Prahlad Maharaj is telling. Janma adhyaha. Everything is undergoing a janma. Krishna also mentions. So sometimes we think janma means that which is body. When we say janma, what do we think? We think body only. But Prahlad Maharaj doesn't mean that. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, whatever is taking birth will definitely undergo transformation. Interesting. What does it mean? For instance, I am propounding communism philosophy. Whatever Marx proposed as communism and whatever is being followed as communism has changed. Because it has got Janmam, right? Communism philosophy had a Janmam, right? It will undergo change. Krishna also mentions the same thing in the Bhagavad Gita. Jatasya dhruvo mrityuhu. If something has got jata, it is being born. I'm having an identity right now. I am a father. That identity is born at some point. That bhava is being born. I am a father. That is being born. My son alone is not born when he's born. My feeling that I'm a father is also born at that time. Because it is born at that time, it will undergo a change also. My feeling of a father doesn't remain the same. When he's very small, my feeling of a father is different. When he grows up, my feeling of a father is different. And one day the feeling of the father will die. Because it is Datasya. So in this way, Prahlad Maharaj is telling, if you see everything around you, my dear Asura classmates, Janmadhyaha, it is beginning with birth. From philosophical birth, from mental birth, sometimes thoughts are born. I don't like you. If I feel like that, that also undergoes change. That will not be constant. That all not, maybe he's good only, no? Why do I not like him? That will change. Again, I'll say, I don't like him. Or I like him. And that will die one day. When this body dies, it will die. I'll forget. In this way, everything in this world is constantly changing only. But we believe that is Atma. That is our problem. So why do we have to understand this? Because humility is not a mental adjustment. All the spiritual qualities, tolerance, humility, forbearance, this is not a mental adjustment. I just mentally, boom, humble. It is not a mental adjustment. The problem is mental. Pride is a mental problem, for sure. But its solution lies in purifying the intelligence. Correct? What I'm trying to do, if some problem is there on some level, I try to attack it at the same level. That is my problem. So Prahlad Maharaj is giving spiritual instruction that will dispel my ignorance. That is changing the status quo of how I'm thinking. Of how I'm thinking about my existence. What I'm thinking as reality. So, drishta dehasya, whatever I'm seeing, this dehasya, these got so many byproducts. The byproducts of greed, byproducts of lust, byproducts of my desires. All this is happening right now. By the influence of Kala. Kalena Ishwara Atmana. So this Kalam is there. Because of the touch of Kalam, my feelings are changing. Whatever is born is undergoing change. The Kala Sparsham. As I mentioned, when Srihari was born, my feeling about the father was different. But by the influence of Kalam, Srihari's body changed. My material body also changed. My mind also changed. So my feeling about change, my feelings is changing. In this way, everything in this world is in a flux. We want to believe that it is eternal. But it is not eternal. If you go closer, you will understand it is constantly changing. If you go a little closer, right? So, Kalena Ishwara Murtina. So, under the control of Ishwara, the Kala is going. So, one has to notice this fact. I was telling. But there is something that is beyond all these changes. Everything that we know is changing only. This is the first thing to understand. Everything I know, I do not know anything in this world that is not changing. Do I know anything in this world? I can say I know Krishna, which is unchanging. But you know what is the problem there? My knowledge that Krishna is unchanging is changing. How about that? My knowledge that Krishna is unchanging, that is constantly changing. It is not fixed right now. So that alone I cannot, that also I cannot ascertain. That is the reason we are not able to ascertain the soul. Because our experience is constantly changing. Because our experience is constantly changing, this is called a Granthi Nibandhana. Granthi Nibandhana means, say, I'm coming to the Bhagavatam class. Yesterday I listened from Shyam Kishore Prabhu about false ego. Okay. Oh, man, okay. I heard. Now I have a certain experience. Now the experience is not continuous. I'm again going to work and having another experience, which is having another value system. Now this experience of Atma is not continuous, so I'm getting confused. Is Shyam Kishore Prabhu right? Is corporate world right? Who's right? So this conflict happens because it is not continuous, right? My experience of Krishna consciousness, experience of anything is not continuous. Because it is not continuous, I'm not able to ascertain this is reality. Because I'm not able to ascertain something is reality, I'm jumping. And because I'm jumping, I'm not able to understand what is reality. You see what I'm saying? It's clear? It's clear? It's like saying, to give another example, say I'm looking at Srihari. So I'm able to see he's wearing a blue dress now. Now imagine there is a device. In that device, there are three colors. And these three colors are constantly, the three color glasses are constantly going before my eyes like this. Okay, red, yellow, blue, red, yellow, blue, red, yellow, blue. These three colors are constantly going before my eyes. Now, how will I make determination of what color dress he is? Can I make any determination? Because my vision is completely thwarted. I cannot determine anything. I cannot make anything nishchitam. I cannot say anything nishchitam. Because it's constantly changing. What will I say about anything in this world? Can I say about anything in this world anything? I cannot say anything. I can only say some part of it. That's like, I was hearing one devotee speak. Like there is a mug, there is a jar, and that jar has got a logo in it. Okay, Nike logo in it. Now I am the Nike logo part of the jar is switched on to the wall, and I'm seeing the part of the jar that is not facing doesn't have the Nike logo. I'm saying it doesn't have a Nike logo. Someone who went to take the beads, he saw the Nike logo. He said, jar has Nike logo. He saw the Nike logo. I don't see the Nike logo. So I am seeing so many things in this world, but I am not able to ascertain it completely. I'm not having Purnam Jnanam because my experience is constantly changing. This is very important to understand because only if we are very convinced about this fact, I don't have Nishtita Jnanam about something, I will go to the spiritual master. I will take shelter of Shabda Pramana. Or else our worshipping Shastra is a lip service only. One must be completely convinced by the mercy of the Lord, my Pratyaksha and Anumana, which Pratyaksha will I believe? Which Pratyaksha will I believe? Which Anumana will I believe? What religion are you following? One cannot say I'm a Christian. Why? That is also constantly changing. Sometimes I'm a conservative Christian, sometimes I'm a liberal Christian. I can't say I'm a devotee also. Why? Even if I'm a devotee, sometimes I feel maybe I should have this view, I must have that view, I must have this. What can I say about myself? I cannot say anything about myself. I do not know who I am. That much, if I come to understand, that is my kalyana. I must be clear about my confusion. Right now, I'm confused about my confusion. That is my problem. So now Shastra is telling, sorry, I don't want to be speculative or philosophical, but this is important to understand. Sometimes it is easy to dismiss it as, Prabhuji, this is speculation, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this is Jnanamar. But this is actually important to understand. Very clearly, one's ignorance has to be nishchitam, ascertained. I am ignorant. Whether we come through jnana or this way, very clearly, in complete depth, it has to be understood by ignorance from the deep rooted. And now he's telling 12 qualities of the Atma. What does this Atma mean? Atma means the Supreme Lord. Atma nityayaha avyayaha shuddha. Ekaha. There is only one Atma. One Atma means what? That Atma is Krishna. Kshetrajna, he knows everything. He is Ashraya, Avikriya, Swadrik, Hetuhu. Avikriya means he does not perform any material activities. Vyapaka, he is pervading everywhere. Asanghi is not attached to any material work. Anavritaha, he is not covered. Anavritaha. Etaihi dvadashabihi vidwan atma lakshanaihi paraihi ahamameti asadbhavam mayhadu mohatam. So if we understand these qualities of the Atma very nicely, right? Even if you understand one quality, that it is Nityam. If I'm constantly undergoing changes, now who's the person experiencing this? You have to understand. Prahlad Maharaj is telling. Just like Hemakaraha. Hemakaraha. Hemakara means like a gold person, a gold miner. He's again and again digging gold. Similarly, an intelligent person must understand that there is an ultimate truth, and I do not know that. But I've understood that this is where is gold. Just imagine. I told farming intensity. Outside parking lot there is a gold mine. Maybe there can be traces of gold. Immediately, everyone will congregate and start mining that gold. There will be so many JCB, this, that. Everyone will start thinking there is gold there. After having realized there is gold, immediately one will start mining. Is it not? Such a beautiful example Prahlad Maharaj gives. Swarnam yatha gravasu hemakaraha. A person who's hemakaraha is so eager. There is gold there. I will find out. I will find out. I must get gold. I must get gold. Similarly, a Krishna conscious person will understand, right? Behind this material manifestation, there is Krishna hidden. I have to find that Krishna. I have to find Krishna. I have to find Krishna. Like a person is eager to get gold. Similarly, one must be eager to get the Hiranmaya Patrena, right? This beautiful golden hued form, the golden avatara, Gauranga Mahaprabhu. One must be eager to get this gold. I want to get this. I want to see the golden form of the Lord dancing in Sankirtana. I want to see his pastimes. I want to be a part of that Navadvip Leela, right? I want to see this. Now, this is actually manifest in the altar. He's being manifest. He's manifesting his pastimes in the holy name. This Hemakaro Yatha, Hemakaraha. This Hemakaraha means a person who's a gold miner. So a devotee must be like a Hemakaraha. Kshetreshu yogaihi. Through yoga, Kshetreshu. In this Kshetram, he is present. But you have to mine. It's a very nice point. Gold is there. Miner is there. But right now, you cannot access gold. How do you access gold? Yogaihi. Tad abhignya apnuyat. And how is he doing it? Tad abhignyaha. A person is expert. He's expert in getting that gold out of the gold mine. So, from a Ashtanga Yoga perspective, the kshetra to mine out the gold is the world. And the gold is the Paramatma feature of the Lord. You again and again inquire, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? From the Jnana Yoga perspective, the kshetra is your dimension of thinking, feeling, and willing. And within the thinking, feeling, and willing, you're inquiring, where is the I principle coming from? That is the gold. For devotees, all of us, we are mining gold in the Hare Krishna mantra. And the Hare Krishna mantra is not just a kshetram, it is not material. The Hare Krishna mantra himself is the gold. This way, the sadhya and the sadhana both are the same things. The kshetra is not, kshetra is also kshetrajna. Right? I don't know if it's clear. So, if this is clear, I'll go to the next part and it's telling, is it very boring? Am I making it very boring or is it too philosophical? Okay. So he's telling these are these things come in the Upanishads, Brahma Sutras many times. Anvaya vyatirekena vivekena ushatatmana swargasthana samamnaihi vimrishvihi asatvarai. So we have to become sober. Anvaya vyatirekena, directly and indirectly we must understand that there is the spiritual principle behind. And Prabhupada is writing in the purport. Very beautiful point. And it's very beautiful. Prabhupada is saying, everything material, spiritual, including earth, water, air, fire, sky, and the living entities, exists on the platform of the spirit soul. Exists on the platform of the spirit soul. So Prabhupada in one purport said, actually this whole world is actually the impersonal energy of the Lord but covered by Maya. Prabhupada said in one purport. This is actually Brahman only, this world, Prabhupada said. But it has got a temporary covering of Maya for the time of creation. So we see there is something in this world independent of Krishna, outside of Krishna. Very interesting. So a person, I'll read this shloka, a very nice point. He's telling, Ebihi trivarnaihi paryastaihi buddhivedaihi kriyodbhavehi swarupam atmano buddhyait gandhaihi avayum vanvayat buddhuhu buddhehe jagaranam sapnaha sushuptihi iti vrittayah te enaiva anubhuyante so adhyakshaha purusha paraha. Beautiful shloka. Very nice shloka. He's saying, you have so many experiences. Buddhehe jagaranam. You are waking up. That is also your experience. But this jagaranam is not you. This is what is called Maya. Maya means two things. That I am my actions and I am the enjoyment that is coming out of my actions. That is called Maya. I am my actions. I prepared dal chawal, which means I am the action. And the fame that is coming out of dal and chawal, that is mine. I enjoy that kriya. I am the karta, I am the bhukta. Okay, this is Maya. Now, this is Jagaranam experience. That experience is not me. This Jagaranam, when I'm awake, when I'm interacting with the senses, is dependent experience. Then that experience that I am the karta, through the influence of ahankara, you're getting the experience, this anubhuti, that I am doing dal. Because of the modes of material nature, because of the devatas who's present, all these devatas that we see, the descendants, they all become different devatas. Because of the influence of devatas to my mind, and because of the three gunas, because of my intelligence, because of all these things, because of ahankara, I am getting the experience right now. I am speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. See? Experience is being compounded by so many things coming together. That is why I'm having an experience. And this experience is changing when the causes are changing. You know what I'm saying? There is an experiencer and the experience. Clear? There is anubhuyante, there is an anubhuti, there is an experiencer. To give an example, Prabhupada said, ask the question. You are dreaming. In dreaming, you are thinking about so many things. And when you are waking up, you forget the dream. And you are in the waking stage, you are thinking about so many things, you are forgetting that when you are. So which one is reality? Which one is reality? Now you are thinking you are the father, but you are not the father when you are not married. Now you are thinking you are brahmachari, but there was a time when you didn't even realize you are a brahmachari. So which one is real? Which one is the real experience? Is Jagrat real experience? I got a dream day before yesterday that I'm writing exam again. I felt very real. Now is that real? I feel that right now I like this person because he glorified me. I don't like this person, we not. Is this real? So the beginning of Krishna consciousness, like Chaitanya Chandra was mentioning, is doubt. When we doubt our material experience, that is called humility. When we are confident about our material experience, that is called ignorance. Because we cannot have faith in Shastra when we are not authentically doubting our material experience. You see? So the more and more we doubt this anubhuti I am having right now, is it really real? What am I seeing? What am I hearing? This must be there. Sushupti iti vrittaya, these are all vrittis. Vritti means these are different tributaries, distributaries of the vritti of the mind. This is merely I am experiencing my mind only. I'm not experiencing the whole thing. I'm experiencing the layer. That's what I'm experiencing. So, but the yena eva anubhuyante, a person who's eva, all these things who's experiencing it. The same thing Krishna is telling in the Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter. Kshetramityabhidiyate etad yo veditam prahu kshetrajnam iti tadvidah. Everything is kshetram. The person who knows this is kshetrajna. And he's telling, because of not knowing one's swarupa, because of misidentifying with the functions of material nature, you are getting entangled. That is called samsara. Someone else is doing something. I am thinking I am only doing that. Because other there is samsara. Prahlad Maharaj is telling. Krishna's energies are working automatically. Through his energies you are speaking. But by absorption in the matter, I am thinking, I am speaking. I am throwing my consciousness on material activities and I am perceiving as if I'm getting the experience. I am only speaking. I am only hearing. I only did this. But when one again retracts his, Prahlad Maharaj retracted his consciousness from material activities and he placed it in Krishna. And because of that, Prahlad Maharaj did not even know that he was eating, sleeping, he was walking. He did not realize any of this because he was constantly absorbed. Vaikunta Chinta Shabala Chetana. He was absorbed in Krishna consciousness. His consciousness was reserved for Krishna. And he did not even realize how his material activities are functioning. So, one of the fundamental understandings of Krishna consciousness is that even without my absorption in material activities will go on. I am thinking because I am absorbed in material activities, these activities are going on. Right? Because I am giving my children everything. My children are sustaining. I am only the karanam. So this I am the karta and the bhokta buddhi. It is not just as a matter of humility we give it. Actually, it has no basis. This is a very nice point. Prahlad Maharaj is telling. Etadvaro hi samsara. This imagination that you are the cause of all your actions. You are the reason. I am the prime reason that everything is working on. Etadvara hi samsaraha. Guna karma nibandhanaha. You're getting entangled. And what is the reason? Ajnana mulaha. The reason is ajnana. Because of ignorance. Apartho api. Apartha means it has no factual meaning. It is just foolish. It is dreaming foolishly that I am this, I am that. It is apartha. It has no substance. There is no reason to continue this illusion. It is apartha. So when a person is tired, why am I struggling so hard? I'm tired of struggling like this. I'm tired of struggling to impress someone. I'm tired of struggling. I'm amassing followers. I'm amassing wealth. I'm tired. I'm bored. I have to impress so many things. I'm tired. It has no meaning. Apartaha. It has no significance. Apartha api. Pumsa swapna iva arpyate. He understands this is like a dream. Pumsa swapna. This is like a dream. Pumsa swapna iva arpyate. He understands. Prabhupada is saying in the purport, right? Because of ignorance, one is put into temporary material bodies. This realization that it is a dream. When one is Krishna consciousness, you can realize that material existence, whether one is awake or dreaming, is nothing but a dream and has no factual value. This realization is possible by the grace of the Supreme Lord. This grace is also present in the form of the instructions of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is for everyone to engage in welfare activities, to awaken the foolish humanity, especially in society, so that he may come to the platform of Krishna consciousness and benefit of liberation from conditional life. Just as one suffers pain when his head is cut off in a dream, in ignorance one suffers not only while dreaming but also while awake. So when the pursuit of the Supreme Personality of Godhead dawns, then one no longer continues in ignorance and his distress is finished. Prabhupada is mentioning. So Prahlad Maharaj is concluding, this Ajnana Moolam Apartho Api. This Ajnanam, this can be Bija Nirharanam. This Moolam has to be Nirharanam. It has to be destroyed from the root. Or else, I will manufacture desires, and those manufactured desires, because of ignorance, I will work hard for those desires. And being successful in those desires, I'll become proud about those success. And I will think I'm very great and I will die. Because of ignorance, I am manufacturing desires. Prabhupada said in one purport, the illusioned mind is the factory where desires are manufactured. Right? It's a factory. right? More and more there is illusion. This continuous supply chain is happening, right? How many cars are being manufactured in the supply chain? Similarly, newer and newer, like newer and newer waves. Ramanujacharya is giving an example in his commentary. He's telling this mind is like an ocean. Why is it like an ocean? Where desires are like waves hitting the shore of the ocean. Like it is hitting. And then after it hits, it is stopping. No. Again it is hitting. Again it is hitting. And it will never cease. It will continuously hit, hit, hit. And Prahlad Maharaj is concluding, this is asad bhavam tyachet. So there are so many ways to do bija nirharanam, but the best way to do it is, Prahlad Maharaj is telling, by cultivating love for God. Anjasa ratihi. Upaya sahasranam. There are so many ways, upaya sahasranam, to do this bija nirharanam. Upaya sahasranam. But yat Ishware Bhagavati yata yahi anjasa ratihi. Anjasa ratihi. To cultivate rati, attraction for the Lord, is the best means to do that. And how to do that? Prahlad Maharaj is enumerating. I'm not going into it in the interest of time. So if one does this, then yada graha grasta iva kachit hasati. When one actually understands this point about the soul and one hears about the qualities of Krishna, at that point of time, yada grastaha, graha grasta means he becomes haunted by a ghost. Ghost, Narada Muni is mentioning the same thing in the Narada Bhakti Sutra. Kaschit hasati, kaschit unmato bhavati. He becomes mad. When a devotee becomes like a person haunted by a ghost, he laughs, he very loudly he chants about the qualities of the Lord. Sometimes this is to perform meditation, and sometimes he offers respects to every living entity, considering my devotee the Lord. Constantly breathing very heavily, he becomes careless of social etiquette and loudly chants like a madman, Hari, Hari, Hare Krishna, oh my Lord, oh Master of the universe. The devotee is then freed from all material contamination because he constantly thinks of the Lord's pastimes, and because his mind and body have been converted to spiritual qualities. Because of his intense devotional service, his ignorance, material consciousness, and all kinds of material desires are completely burnt to ashes. This is a stage at which one achieves the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Prahlad Maharaj is telling, if one continuously performs Krishna consciousness, then one will not have doubt about Krishna consciousness. Right? Unless one comes to this platform of continuous Krishna consciousness, one will have doubt about what is the reality. One will have a doubt. Because I'm performing Krishna consciousness also, I'm performing this function also. Who am I? This question will come. There is split in the soul, khanditam. But what is Krishna consciousness? It is akhanditam. It can never be divided. There is no division in Krishna consciousness. Because by nature, everything is actually pervaded by the Lord. So this is what Prahlad Maharaj is telling. And I wanted to discuss more things, but in the interest of time, I want to maybe conclude in 5 minutes. So the more and more one understands this scientific nature of illusion, then one starts investing in Krishna consciousness. One starts understanding what is the nature of Krishna. One starts understanding oneself very nicely. And if you don't understand what is within your experience very nicely, you can't go to the next stage. Whatever is within my experience, I must understand. Prabhupada gives this example very nicely. He says, you study yourself because you are sample of the Lord. You are a sample of the Lord. You study yourself very nicely. If you study yourself very nicely, you understand to some extent what is the Lord. Right? Prabhupada gives example. So one must understand the nature of the Lord. One must not sentimentally understand this is the Lord. No. What is Krishna? Like one of the verses I was talking, we're discussing with Nishkinchana Prabhu Divyatitarhu. Very nice verse. Prahlad Maharaj is telling, who is the Lord? He's not very against you. And one of the things I was mentioning this also. Like sometimes in the beginning of my Krishna consciousness, I used to think, I'm breaking 4 regulative principles. I used to come to the temple. I heard 4 regulative principles you should not break. But I was breaking 4 regulative principles. Very easy to guess what I was breaking. So I used to come to the temple and think, okay, I'm breaking the 4 regulative principles. Because I'm breaking the 4 regulative principles, Krishna told me not to break. Prabhupada told me not to break. That means Prabhupada does not like me. Because I'm against Prabhupada. Prabhupada is one team, I'm opposite team of Prabhupada. Because I'm not following Prabhupada, right? Prabhupada must not like me. I'm outside of Prabhupada's division. I'm outside of Krishna's team. If I follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm within Krishna's team. But I'm not following. Anyway, I'm not out. I'm outside of Krishna's. In this way, even when I did devotees association, I used to feel very insecure. I used to feel very ashamed that all these devotees are doing so much, but I'm not even able to follow 4 regulative principles. I'm not even able to follow a certain number of rounds, fixed number of rounds. So I took Sankalpa that I will chant 4 rounds every day. But I fell down. I could not chant. Sometimes I forgot for 20 days, I didn't chant only. So I thought, anyway, I'm not chanting also properly. I'm not following 4 regulative principles properly. I am outside Prabhupada's division. Right? Actually, it's a misunderstanding of Krishna's nature. It's misunderstanding of spiritual master's nature. Misunderstanding of one devotee also told me, actually, when I was staying in the base, sometimes they get bad instructions also. So one devotee was told, because he was used to visit at he was very attached to women. So that devotee, he was so attached, he always felt I have to visit a prostitute. It was from a very good institute. I always have to visit a prostitute. And one day he told the base leader, I'm just giving it up. I'm going and visiting a prostitute. He visited the prostitute and came back. And he told, his counselor told him, you better stop chanting Hare Krishna mantra because you are committing something. He said, I forgot exactly. I don't want to misstate the information. But the information was, he was asked to stop chanting. He said, you are like discouraged. He said, you're not fit because you're doing this bad. Which devotee will do like this? You're staying in the base and you're visiting a prostitute. You're like not good. So sometimes, it is possible to think, because I am performing a certain activity, I'm outside of Krishna consciousness. Now, Prahlad Maharaj, in his very merciful tone, he's calling all the asuras. And because seeing Prahlad Maharaj demoner, all the asuras became because they had so much respect for Prahlad Maharaj. And they were eagerly looking at Prahlad Maharaj's face. What does Prahlad Maharaj have to say? Prahlad Maharaj says a shloka, he's telling, Nahi achyutam prinayataha bahu ayasa asuratmajaha atmatvat sarvabhutanam siddhatvat ya sarvatah. Krishna is pratyek atmanaha. He is keva anubhavanandaha. He's very, very dear to you. Right? He don't have to work hard. It is not that if you don't work hard, Krishna has not achieved. Right? This process of Krishna consciousness, of this Bhagavata Marga, is to understand Krishna as the most intimate person with us. He's the most intimate. Even if I want to separate myself from Krishna, Krishna cannot be separated from me. This is the meaning of part and parcel of Krishna. So to please Krishna, there is no ayasa, there is no endeavor. Krishna is pleased by a small flower. Krishna is pleased by some insignificant obeisances that someone offers. Krishna is pleased when someone is moving a chair from one corner of the place to another corner. Prabhupada appreciated, Prabhupada Leela that comes, right? A devotee moved a chair from one corner of the temple to another corner. Prabhupada appreciated power. Bhuri Manaha. Sudama is also glorifying Krishna. Krishna, you glorify even the most insignificant service someone performs. That is your nature. Right? So, to please Krishna is not so difficult. Why? He is Atmatvata Sarvabhutana. He is the essence of everything. Whatever we see, whatever is perceived in this world, it is all coming from Krishna. He is within my own heart. He knows my desires. He knows my intentions. And even if I do hundreds and thousands and thousands and 10,000s of sinful reactions, Krishna will never have a situation that he will say, I will not accept you. And he siddhatvat, in this material world, one has to work very hard to achieve this object. I have to work very hard. I do a sadhana and there is a sadhya. There is a sadhana, there is sadhya. This is one way of understanding Krishna consciousness. I work very hard. I chant Hare Krishna mantra very, 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 very hard. I will get Krishna. This is one way of understanding Krishna consciousness. There is another way of understanding Krishna consciousness, where I understand I'm too weak. So Krishna is not simply the sadhya. He is also siddhatvat. He is also siddha. Siddhatvat iha sarvataha. He is already achieved, Krishna. Both these understandings of Krishna are supported by Shastra. That Krishna has to be achieved through the process of bhakti, and Krishna has also already achieved Siddhatvat iha sarvataha. Sometimes it can be very overwhelming to think I'm already working very hard in the material world, in my corporate world, in my house work and taking care of my children. Here also they're asking 16 rounds, 32 rounds, 64 rounds, Ekadashi Pratham, this service, that service. I have to do so much to achieve something. It is so overwhelming. I do not know whether I will achieve or not. It is very overwhelming. There is an uncertainty of achievement in the material world. In spiritual world also there is an uncertainty of achievement. This uncertainty is very baffling for the soul sometimes. Correct? At least for me it was. But when I read the shloka, I understood that at that point of time I was saying when I was breaking the regulative principles, I had a different impression of Krishna. When I read the shloka, I understood Krishna is very merciful. Krishna has already achieved. Krishna is open to everyone in any situation. Sarvataha. In any situation, in any point of life, I can just drop that and come to Krishna, and Krishna is ready to accept me. At any point, in any situation, because we all like a momentum, right? At least I want to finish that momentum and then come to Krishna after I do some formal thing and then I come to Krishna. But at any point, someone can turn to Krishna and Krishna is ready to accept. So, very beautifully, Prahlad Maharaj mentions all these qualities of Krishna in a very hope giving way to the Asuras, right? In a very positive way. And he's also talking about the temporality of it. So, very sandwich mechanism Prahlad Maharaj is using. Little katu, little motivational. And in this way, his instructions to the classmates are very, very inspiring. So by remembering these instructions, and Narada Muni has the same approach. So by remembering these instructions, by understanding the quality of the Atma, the quality of Krishna, the quality of the material world very properly, this is called Sammata Tattva Jnana, to understand their qualities very properly. What is matter? What is spirit? What is Krishna? Very clearly, if we understand, then bhakti is very easy. To follow, to practice bhakti becomes very easy. But if I do not understand what is the spirit, what is Krishna, like my Shiksha Guru used to say, we should not think if I go to Krishna, is he very cruel? Tamil is very moradan. Moradan means he's very, very cruel, maybe he's very judgmental. Then you do not want to go to Krishna. So we have to understand Krishna's quality. What is Krishna's qualities? What is soul's qualities? What is the material world's qualities? And that way, Abhideha becomes very smooth. So I'll stop here. Again, sorry, I went over time. If there are any questions or comments or any corrections, let me know. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Last sentence of you said, just for my clarification, I'm asking. You said two ways to understand Krishna, that struggle hard, and what other way that I am so that I.
Nice point. Okay, nice question. So I didn't complete the other point. So other way is that I am not qualified to achieve Krishna. I cannot access Krishna. I am chanting Hare Krishna mantra not because I am able to achieve Krishna through this way, because I cannot do anything else. I'm not even able to focus on Hare Krishna mantra also. But I understand this Hare Krishna mantra is you in person. And what I want is that I don't want to see Hare Krishna mantra. I simply want to be in the presence of Hare Krishna mantra. Whether I'm able to focus on Hare Krishna mantra is another thing. But I want to be in your presence, Hare Krishna mantra. I want to be seen by you. Right? And when you see me, all auspiciousness comes. I cannot focus on you. When I'm chanting, I'm not claiming I can focus on you. I will always lose focus only. That is fine. But because Hare Krishna mantra, you are seeing me. I am within your presence. I am safe only. Because I'm within your presence. And I cannot do anything to understand anything. I can only chant your name. I can only pronounce your name. I cannot even mean that name. That also I cannot do. All I can do is I can chant your name with my lips and tongue. That's all I can do. I cannot focus. I cannot do anything. So this is another way of approaching Hare Krishna mantra, where we get the attitude of being seen by the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna mantra is the seer. I am the seen. So when we are in the attitude of the seer, it is very difficult to control the mind. When we are in the attitude of the seen, so here you are not trying to control the mind. but the mind becomes automatically controlled. Right? Because you have given up controlling the mind. Because of that, mind becomes controlled. In the other approach, you are controlling the mind through a sadhana, which is also fine. Whatever works for anyone. Right? If this works for someone, that works for someone else. But I'm just saying, this perspective is given by Prahlad Maharaj, where he's telling Krishna is already achieved. This means Hare Krishna mantra is already perfect. And by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, I'm already perfect. I don't have to do anything else. By chanting Hare Krishna mantra, one is perfect. That's it. If one has this bhava, then that is also helpful. Yeah. Is that clear? Yeah. Okay, thank you, devotees. Yes.
So the thing is, you see that when we contemplate on what Shastra says, then the determination is very strong. Especially the Shastra that Prabhupada has given is the most exalted and the most refined Shastra. It's very, very inspiring and thought transforming. So the thing is that, of course, setting a schedule to read and all that is one thing, but how can Shastra be convinced that if Shastra wants to give us his company, then we will find it very easy to associate with Shastra. But what is the adhikar for being able to read and digest Shastra?
I mean, you're following it. So again, my understanding when I approach Shastra is the same bhava, that I want to be seen by the Shastra, because Shastra is not impersonal. Shastra is a person, Srimad Bhagavatam is a person, and Maitreya Muni is speaking and Srila Prabhupada is speaking, it is a person. So if I get the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, and his servants, I would get the means to understand the purport. If I understand the purport, I'll become excited. I'll become enthused. So to understand it, to approach in a personal way, that I am not qualified to touch Bhagavatam. I mean, talking about myself. But if I'm seen by Bhagavatam, if Bhagavatam allows me to access it, then who can stop Bhagavatam? If Srila Prabhupada allows me to access his realizations, who can stop Srila Prabhupada? If Maitreya Muni decides, Vidura, whoever I'm reading about, Shukadeva Goswami decides, okay, let Jay Sachinandan Krishna Das, though he's a useless person, let him understand. If they give their blessings, then I'll understand. Right? So it is their realizations. It is their property. It is copyrighted by them. So no one can borrow it by reading it. So if they kick me on my head, then every realization comes. Right? So that's that. I mean, that's the thing, and that is what is most important, to have realizations, to get their mercy. That is what Prahlad Maharaj says, right? He says to this student, he says, "Kalastu dirghatvat stritvatvatu matra tirodade rishi anugrahitena kalena maya chodidam." He's telling, not sure if I'm paraphrasing it exactly rightly. He's saying, stritvat, because my mother also heard everything, I also heard everything. But my mother, because she was too attached to her husband, she forgot everything. And because for a long time she forgot everything. Kalastu dirghatvat. But me, I am able to remember everything because Rishi Anugrahitena. Because Rishi gave me Anugraham. May you remember, may you realize. So, with so much Kalam has passed, now Suspashtam, everything I am able to repeat it. Because Rishi said, may you remember, I am remembering. So it is a very personal process. Krishna consciousness becomes very easy when we understand it as a person-based. When we understand it as process-based, we are making it more difficult. We are making it more difficult. Ashtanga yoga based, I will do this, I will do that. So when we approach it always in a personal way, Srimad Bhagavatam is a person, Sri Guru is a person, they will understand my difficulty. Krishna is a person, he will understand my difficulty. Srimati Radharani is a person, Nityananda Prabhu is a person, Mahaprabhu is a person. They will forgive me if I go and fall at their feet. If you understand it in a very personal way, I have no other shelter. So when you understand it in a personal way, I mean, I'm telling this for myself. I mean, all of you are very personal. I'm very impersonal. But I made things more messy by understanding it in a personal way. initially. So I always remind myself in every lecture also that to understand it in a personal way, it is a personal process. That is why personal etiquette becomes more important in Krishna consciousness. That Bhakti Charu Maharaj always talks about. That how I treat others, how I approach someone else, how I convey my desires. These things becomes more important, because when these things are not in place, then one will not have the sufficient bhav to approach the Guru and benefit from them. So sadachara becomes more important. That answer. Okay.
You can ask.
Does anyone have
Anyone has any question on Zoom?
It will not able to.
Does anyone have any questions on Zoom? It looks like not. Okay. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Jai Sachinandan Krishna Prabhu ki.
Vancha kalpadaro Krishna kripa sabdhi vacha padikana pa. Koti Vaishnava.